All right, let me jump on to my next topic here today. I wanted to talk about this one as well. Going woke is destroying the game industry. The game industry is, of course, following along with the movie industry. I'm okay with that. When I open my Steam, I wait for games to be a couple years old usually, and then I buy them on sale. And so I'll hear about an absolutely great product. I wait till it goes on sale. I buy it. I add it to my library, and for $5 instead of the $60 that it was released on, and I do that every Steam sale. I have probably 300 games I haven't played yet that I still want to play. I'll get around to at some point. And so these new games that are coming out that are woke, I don't care. I don't have to buy them. I'm not that desperate for games. Neither is anybody else. Although for some reason people still buy the PlayStation 5 for $5.99 and there's only maybe a handful of good games on it. Join the Master PC race. That's all I'm saying. Join the Master PC race. There are so many great games available at cheaper prices. Before we jump right into it, let me give a thanks to today's sponsor, which is TNUSA. So thank you to the sponsor. It's, as you know, tax season's over and done with, but the IRS is ramping up. And they say, are you struggling with back taxes or unfiled returns? The IRS is escalating collections, adding 20,000 new agents, and sending over 5 million collection letters to kick off 2024. In these challenging times, your best defense is Tax Network USA. Don't let the IRS take advantage of you. With over 14 years of experience, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in back taxes. No matter the size of your tax issue, their expertise is your advantage. They specialize in negotiating with the IRS, aiming to significantly reduce your debt. Tax Network USA doesn't just negotiate, they also protect your assets from the IRS seizures and manage your yearly returns for ongoing compliance. Importantly, they're licensed to help with all the state tax issues, regardless of where you live in the United States. The clock is ticking. Don't wait as the IRS steps up its game, seize control of your financial future. Now, contact Tax Network USA for immediate relief and expert guidance. Call 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/bachelor. Don't let tax issues overpower you. Turn to Tax Network USA and find your path to financial peace of mind. So when these companies follow Hollywood and decide to go woke, we don't care. We can laugh at their demise, and they're just going to destroy themselves. And then as these big companies fall to the wayside and waste their money, and they end up closing, like Ubisoft is possibly getting ready to do at some point, then the money moves into companies that aren't woke, that will properly spend the money, that will make the things that people want to play, and we will recover. We will recover from the downfall. Well, we'll start with here. So there was 2 games that came out. I forget the other name of the other one, where you were a rock woke band, or you were a woke rock band, and it cost, I don't know how, tons of money that came out. It sold nothing. And now you've got Concord 2, and I'm not going to dive too deep into Concord 2 because it's been covered pretty well over the last couple weeks. But they say, this is from USA Today, wrong from start to finish, PlayStation pulling the Concord game 2 weeks after its launch. The hero shooter game, which costs $40, will go offline on Friday following poor sales and negative feedback. The company says anyone who bought the game will get refunded. So they're going to try to do probably a tax write-off for it. This game cost $100 million and 8 years of production. And the thing is, it was kind of a like a, what do you call it? A team-based shooter, like some of these other ones are. But all these other, what is it, Fortnite, and I don't play this type of game, but it's like Fortnite and Overwatch and games like that. It kind of copied their gameplay, except they wanted to charge $40 for the game, and of course everybody in it was woke. And the others, like Overwatch and Fortnite and the rest, are free to play. And there's also, as they say here, an oversaturation of the hero shooter genre. So they burnt 8 years and $100 million for nothing to try to make a woke shooter, and it failed. And now you've got Rocksteady. If you remember, they did the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Well, the reason why it takes a game 8 years to develop is because it's a bunch of woke programmers. You're not hiring the best of the best programmers. You're hiring people because they're a one-armed black lesbian of color or something. That's why it takes so long to develop them. Well, they did the same thing in this game. Rocksteady Studios begins cutting staff in response to failure of the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. QA team reportedly reduced by half. And that's the quality assurance QA team. They say, Labor Day, that good old American holiday meant to appreciate workers nationwide. Or if you're Rocksteady Studios, making sure some of them no longer have jobs, is according to a new report. The failure of Suicide Squad, a $200 million game. According to a new report, the failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has the developer to begin scaling back their operations. And here you can see Captain Boomerang. Per report, now I know this is an old story, but of what the studio did, but I want you to show the blowback as well to understand that we are winning the culture war. We're winning the culture war. Per a report published by Eurogamer editor-in-chief Tom Phillips, he himself purportedly learned of the development from studio employees who spoke to him directly, Rocksteady has seen its size almost cut in half over the past month, dropping from 33 team members to 15, with poor sales of Suicide Squad directly cited as a reason for its restructuring. Further, alongside the QA employees, the job cuts have also resulted in the loss of numerous junior staff. They say, in adding insult to injury, per a message posted to social media platform, one staff member was reportedly let go over the weekend while in the middle of their paternity leave. According to said employees, the cuts made to Rocksteady's QA department affected a number of team members with specialized knowledge. Specialized knowledge in what? DEI? In what? You can't do this, man. You can't turn out these flops and have a team oversized. Why are they not realizing this? Why are they not learning this? We've talked about this for years and years now. They say, as of writing, neither Rocksteady Studios nor the parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery, have offered any public comment. And they talk about ad revenue decline. Well, guess what? Rocksteady, it's not just the QA team. It's not just the junior developers. Rocksteady reportedly lays off the devs, the developers, after Suicide Kill the Justice League flop. And now we've got Ubisoft. This is from a day ago. Ubisoft is mismanaged. Shareholders are hostages. Investigator demands video game company go private after the stock drop. They dropped 50% in the course of a week. And if you see here, they've got this little stock ticker. It just says dropping fast. And you can see here that on June 14th, basically a month and change ago, 3 months ago, it was rated about $25. Now it is sub $12. More than 50% down, 46% over the last 3 months. Here's their actual ticker. I have it here. And you can see they've fallen off a cliff. If we go back 3 years, their stock was near 60. If we go back 5 years, their peak of stock was at $85, roughly. $85 in 2021. A mere 3 years ago, their stock was at $85. It is now crossed down to $11. You can have all the buzzwords and all the feel good words about diversity and equity and inclusion. It doesn't matter. They're going to destroy themselves all over diversity. This is from Benzinga. Ubisoft Entertainment SA faces pressure from a minority shareholder to go private following the release of Star Wars Outlaws. That's another one I forgot to mention. Star Wars Outlaws was an unmitigated, bug-filled disaster. It sold only okay, but it is full of bugs. AI has extreme problems, the AI does. There's people falling through the world. There's people clipping through walls. It is so bad. The quality assurance is so bad on this. Slovakia-based hedge fund AJ Investments, which holds less than 1% of Ubisoft stock, issued an open letter to the company's board of directors, including CEO Yves Guillemot and major stockholder Tencent Holdings, criticizing Ubisoft's recent performance and share value. They say the release of Star Wars Outlaws, developed by Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment, was expected to boost the company's financial outlook, but early reviews and lukewarm reception from players have raised concerns. Following the game's release, Ubisoft's stock price dropped over 10% within 2 days of Star Wars Outlaws' release. At that point, Ubisoft's share dropped to 15.34 euros or 16.91. That's the lowest level since 2014, with a market capitalization of 197 billion euros. Since then, the shares have declined even further, going 7.1% lower on Monday, down to 13.67 euros. They say currently Ubisoft stock is trading at 13.25 euros, but it's plunged again because, as you can see, now we're down to $11 US. Ubisoft at current state is mismanaged, and shareholders are hostages of Guillemot family members and Tencent who take advantage of them, the open letter reads, according to Games Industry. Management is focused on pleasing investors with beating quarterly results and not focusing on long-term strategy to provide exceptional experience for the gamers. AJ Investments also raised the possibility of initiating a proxy fight to gather support of other minority shareholders to push for a sale if the company does not respond to their demands. What happens with these companies is the same thing that's happening to Boeing. It's the same thing that happens to Harley-Davidson. It's the same thing that happens in some ways to companies like McDonald's. You put out a product, and we'll call that product quality A. The quality is A. The cost B+. So you make a little bit of money. But they say we want to be greedy. We can't make the quality any better than A, but maybe the financials can be B, meaning the quality is A quality, but it costs a little bit less. Now it only costs us B, so we can get a little bit more money in between the two. We can be more profitable. The problem is when the B+ cost and an A game becomes a B game with a B cost. The game quality slips because you've not paid the correct staff. You're chasing after the woke identity. You're trying to be cheap on either products or quality or programmers and the skill of the people that work for you. And now, by sacrificing the cost of those things, the quality falls. And pretty soon, you're not making money. You're starting to look at losing money. And then they get desperate. And what do? They do what these other companies have done, where they cut the cost down to D, and they just decide, okay, we're going to try to hold that quality around C+ or B. And it's the only analogy I can think of that really works. And so now they've got a horrible crew putting out horrible product, and they're hoping the hype train and the excitement will sell the product, and it's not anymore. And now they're losing massive money, and the quality of the product has gone to crap. The good name of the product, Ubisoft used to put out some good games. The same thing happened in the Marvel universe or Disney, where it was, this is going to be the Marvel universe. It's going to be a good movie. I'm going to go see it. Oh my gosh, Star Wars. Star Wars is an icon. I'm definitely going to see anything Star Wars. But because the quality slipped so far so fast, now people are saying, I'm not, like, you're going to have to prove it to me. You don't have your good name anymore to fool me into buying your product. Now I got to see the quality of the product. And the quality of the product is
hello there.
And now these companies that used to be good and were surviving for a little while off their name and their previous content, now they've lost the good reputation and that their product.
Hello there.
This comes from Bounding Into Comics. Opinion: after stock plunge scare, Ubisoft needs a miracle. And Assassin's Creed Shadows is no miracle. If you're not familiar, Assassin's Creed Shadows is where they're going to have a female samurai and a black man samurai / assassin, but they're not going to have a traditional Japanese man in the role that basically Japanese men were doing. And they went woke with it. And they're putting a lot of money and a lot of production and a lot of effort into this. And it's going to end up flopping because they're not listening to what people are asking of them. They say Ubisoft recently suffered the stock drop, like we've been mentioning, as the video game giant struggles to keep pace with modern industry demands. Missteps like X-Defiant, free-to-play shooter that failed to gain traction, and the disappointing Star Wars Outlaws has only hindered the rich legacy of a company that gave us such titles as Assassin's Creed 2, Far Cry 3, Beyond Good and Evil, and many more. Now, the writer doesn't probably even realize he did it, or she, Nicola, he doesn't realize he did it. It hinders the once rich legacy. Right, they had a legacy, and they ruined it. And now people do not believe in them, where it was just, oh, Ubisoft is coming out with this new game. I don't know what it is, but I want to get it. They've lost that credibility. Now it's, okay, Ubisoft's coming out of with a new game. Their last 4 sucked. I'm going to see what the reviews are. And the reviews are bad, and then no one buys the game. They sound now Ubisoft is preparing for the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows in November 2024. And the question is, can this title be the redemption arc that Ubisoft so desperately needs? Ubisoft stock has plummeted 40%. We've talked about that. Their microtransaction money-grabbing strategy and quadruple A game launches haven't paid off. In fact, these only seem to draw in hate from the community. People are so tired of microtransactions and season passes. And, oh, you want the full game? It's going to be $69. It's been plagued by criticism over its choice of protagonists, Yasuke, an African samurai, which led to a petition for cancellation. More misses in the game have been revealed, including a parkour system which fans feel has been merely reskinned instead of meaningfully improved. Nevertheless, considering the immense success of the entire series and an homage to the franchise with last year's Assassin's Creed Mirage, Ubisoft is sure to push the title beyond the limits in terms of sales. The main selling point of the Assassin's Creed Shadow is the diverse setting as the franchise revisits feudal Japan. Feudal Japan without feudal Japan characters. Females. Black guys. That's not gonna work. I'll tell you that right now. And they were being criticized by the Japanese because some of the arches and I think you call them pagodas, some of the decorations in feudal Japan were Chinese, which pissed off a bunch of the Japanese gamers, which is part of the petition. They can't get it right. These companies have lost their good credibility, their good names. And if you look at this, yes, Ubisoft and what are some of the other developers? EA Sports. EA Sports used to be good. Now it's just reskins. This thing, they're talking about reskinning it, and the characters are diverse. Nobody cares about that. No one's listening to what the gamers want. Well, I can't say nobody, because if you look at the, what's the name of that new monkey game? Black Wukong, I think it is. I think it's called Black Wukong. I don't even remember now. But that was a brand new studio coming out with a brand new game from China. And that thing, I don't know how many units that sold, but it had a good storyline. It has good graphics. It's challenging. It's not woke. That's it. Black Myth Wukong. Thank you. It's not woke, and it's getting lauded as a very fun game. They're a great fun game. There's so many options out there. And the same thing goes across all entertainment. There's more choices than Disney. There's more choices than Paramount. There's more choices than Netflix streaming. There's more choices than these video games. There's more choices than some of the movies that Hollywood's cranking out. There's just other choices. And the problem that they have that they can't seem to understand is the biggest thing that they're competing with isn't the new games coming out, isn't the new movies coming out, isn't the new products. It's the products that are still available. There are many people that are happily sailing the high seas to go find movies from 10, 20, 30 years ago, playing video games that are 15 or 20 years old, getting expansion packs and mods for Skyrim or some of these other games that to bring the graphic content up. You can rewrite the entire magic, the way the magic system works in Skyrim, all by downloading and patching things in there. That's what they're competing against. And until they learn that and they keep trying to push the message, they're going to fail. And some of these companies are going to close the doors. They're going to go broke. They're not going to exist anymore. And it's going to be their own damn faults.